Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and if this is your first time here, my name is Grace and I share sewing tutorials on this YouTube channel. In this tutorial, we're going to be learning how to cut and sew a dartless corset with yoke and basque waistline. This particular method is very easy and straightforward to use, so if this is something that you are interested in, make sure that you watch this video all the way to the end. Don't also forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on your notification bell so that you'll be notified when I post helpful tutorials like this. So with no further ado, let's get into this video and start learning. Before I start drafting the pattern for this corset, I'm going to be working on my cups. So I have a cup of size 38 here. I'm a size 36, but I'm going to be using size 38 in order for the cup to have more accommodating space for my boobs. So the first thing I'm going to do is I will fold my cup into two like this, two equal halves, and at the middle I'm going to be taking a dart of about 2.5 inches. So I'm just marking the cup at 2.5 inches in the middle like that. So I'll go ahead now and take a dart on the sewing machine. So I'll just fold it like this under my sewing machine, and I will make sure that the dart is about half an inch. Then I will sew it up to that point that I marked. So this particular step of darting the cup like this is actually optional, but it is recommendable. So if you can spot the difference between this one that I already darted and the one that I haven't darted, you will see that this one that I added that to has more space inside than this other one that I have not darted. So I've gone ahead to also add that to the other one, and as you can see, the two cups now have enough space inside to accommodate the boobs. So let's go ahead to start drafting now. So these are the things that I'll be needing for my pattern drafting here. So I have my cups. That Ankara material that you can see over there is what I'm going to be using for the dress. So I have a pencil here, I have a curved ruler and a straight ruler. So if you don't have a curved ruler, you can also make use of your straight ruler. I have my tape rule, scissors and my markers. So we are going to dive directly now into drafting the pattern of this corset. So I'm just taking off the materials of the pattern paper, and I'll start drafting on it. So the first thing that I'm going to do on this pattern paper is to draw a line on the top like this, like a starting point. So this line is the starting line here, and it's also going to be my shoulder line. So I'm going to go ahead now to label that line my shoulder line. So from the shoulder line, the next measurement that I'm going to take is my bust point, and mine is at 10 inches. So I'm just going to mark 10 inches from the shoulder line. Can you see? So when you mark that 10 inches, you go in and draw a straight line across like this. So this line is what represents my bust point. Then from the shoulder line again, I'm going to go down to my under bust. So my whole under bust is at 13 inches. Then I'll also draw a straight line across the 13 inches like this. And the next line I'm going to be taking is my waistline. So my waist is at 17 inches. So I'm going to mark it also, and I will also draw a straight line across the waistline. Then I'm going to be marking the full length of this corset, and the full length I'm working with will be at 21 inches. So I'm just going to be marking that, and I'll draw a straight line across also. So as you can see, these are the lines that I'm needing. This is the bust point, this is the under bust here, and this is the waistline, while this is the full length of the corset. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is to take my chest line measurement. So to get your chest line, you just have to divide your bust by 6 and add 2 inches to it. Mine is at 8 inches, so from the shoulder line I came down by 8 inches. So this chest line is also like the armhole line, the line that the armhole is going to stop. So the next thing now is that on this shoulder line, I'm going to be placing my shoulder measurement divided by 2. My shoulder is 16 and that divided by 2 will give me 8. So I will mark 8 inches on the shoulder line, and I will also mark that 8 inches on the chest line. Then I will connect those 2 points that I just marked together like this. So I'm going to come here and take my neck depth measurements at 3 inches, and also the width is going to be 3 inches. So I'm just doing 3 by 3, which is the normal neck depth and neck width measurement, and I'm just going to do my neck curve like that. So I'm not doing anything much for the neck. Then I'll come down from this particular line by 1 inch like this, and I'll connect that to the neck line with a slanty line, just to give us that shoulder slant. So after that, I'm going to be placing my bust measurement divided by 4 on the chest line. So mine is at 9.5 inches. I place that, then I'll come to this line again and find the midpoint of this line. So just mark the midpoint of that line and go in by about half an inch. Then I'm going to be using this my curved rule to form my armhole curve. So you can also use your free hand to do this if you don't have this curved rule. So basically what we've been doing since is just like drafting a basic bodice pattern. So the next thing now is to take my nipple to nipple measurement. So your nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2, you are going to place it on this bust point like this. Mine is 8 and divided by 2 will give me 4. So I mark it on the bust points, mark the 4 inches on the under bust, mark it on the waistline, and also mark it on the top length line. So I'm going to be joining all those points that I marked together now with a straight line. So after doing that, I'll go up to the shoulder area, that shoulder like this. I'm going to measure it and mark the midpoint that I have there. So you can just fold your tape into 2 like this to get the midpoint of that slanted shoulder area. Then I'll connect it with a slant to meet the bust point. So now the next thing to do is to get the bust bridge. So I'm just coming down from the chest line by about half an inch. Then I'll go in by half an inch again just to form the bust bridge. So I'm just going to mark that half an inch on the bust point, mark it on the under bust, and I will connect it from that half an inch I came down by on the chest line. So that's where the cup is going to be stopping at the middle part. So your bust bridge is that part at the middle of your corset, in between the 2 cups. That one starts standing in between your breast, in between the 2 cups on the corset. So I'm going to be placing this cup right now, and I'll make sure that the down part is sitting on this under bust line like this, and that the tip at the side is directly on that bust bridge that I just drew now. So I hope you understand this. Then I'll go ahead and use my marker to trace out the shape of this cup all the way like this. So I'm also going to shape it up at the top area like this, just to make sure that I have that perfect cup shape. So once I'm done, I'm just going to remove this like this, and I'm just going to use my marker to make it bolder, as you can see. So the next thing that I'm going to be doing now is to place the other round measurements. I already placed my bust circumference measurement divided by 4 on the chest line, so that will work for the bust point too. You can also place it on the bust point. So on this waistline, I'm going to be placing my waist circumference measurement divided by 4. Then I'm going to be deducting half an inch from that, because we are not going to be adding a dart to this corset. So that half an inch will serve as the snatching for this corset. Then on the full length, I'm going to be placing my hip measurement divided by 4, or whatever is the measurement that I have on that parts of the body. So I'll just connect these 3 points together. So for the down part, you can just use a curved rule like this if you have one, and use your hand to blend it together like that, so that it's not too sharp. So The next thing that I'm going to do now is just to add 1 inch sewing allowance to this pattern, so that I don't have to add sewing allowance to that side again when I'm cutting on the main fabric. So I'm just connecting the allowance now. So this is basically all. What I'm just going to do to this cup area now is that I'm going to be blending that part to the armhole area like this. That top part of the cup, I will just blend it into the armhole area, because we are going to be cutting out the cup part, and this upper part here is going to serve as the yoke of the corset. So this is just me cutting this out. So just watch the way I'm going to be cutting this. So cut the armhole area like this, the neckline. So if you want another type of neckline apart from this round neck, you can actually do that. So from the bust bridge, I cut along the cup area and also cut the top like this up to that part that I blended in. So can you see? This is how it looks like. So this is the down part, that's the cup, and that's the yoke part. So I'm just placing lines on this pattern to indicate that I'm going to be adding bonings, which are like style lines, to this particular corset when I'm sewing it. So these are just the pattern pieces that we're going to be needing for the front part of this corset. So now to cut the back, I'm going to be joining this yoke and the down parts together again, and I will just use my tape to join it together in order to place it on another pattern paper and just draw out the back. So you can just use any type of tape that you have, or maybe you can even use your pins to join it together, just to join it together temporarily before we remove it again. So after joining it together like this, I'm going to go ahead and place it on another pattern paper. So I've placed this on another pattern paper and I'm just pinning it all the way around. At this step too, you can use your tape if that's what you have. I'm just pinning it to stay like that. So after pinning, I'm just going to go ahead and cut this out. So because this is not going to be having a zipper, I'll cut out that middle. Then as this neckline, for the back neckline, I want something higher, like a 1.5 inches neckline. So I'm going to measure that out and also cut it out. So I don't want the neckline of the back to be that deep, but if you want yours to be deep, you can go ahead and cut out more than 3 inches, by the way. So I'm just cutting this out all the way around. So after cutting it, I'm going to be taking off the pins. I'm just going to mark that area where the yoke ended, so that when I take it off, I'm going to locate it easily. So I'm also coming up by about 1 inch from the side like this, just to give it a style at the side, and I use my curved rule to mark it out. Then I will cut that area out. That's just to give it like a shape at the side. It is totally optional. So I'm taking off the pins, and this is what the back pattern looks like. So I'm just going to draw a straight line across to mark that yoke point, and I'll cut out the upper part from the lower part. So for the back, since it's going to be carrying loops instead of zip, I'm just marking 2 inches away from the center like this, and I'll connect those 2 points together and cut it out, because we need space at the back for the loops, since we are not going to be using zip. So it might be loops you are using or highlights. So I'm just using my marker to indicate in that place that this is going to be having loops, not zip. So for this top part, I would like to have a kind of open shape at the back. So from the middle like this, I measured like 4.5 inches and I marked it like this. Then I'll also come down from the neckline by about 1.5 inch, and I'll use my curved rule to connect from that 1.5 inch to meet that other point. So you can also use your free hand to do this. Then I'm just going to cut that out. So this is what I have at the end of the day. I'm very sure that you've seen something like this before. So the back is going to be opened. So this is the back yoke, and that's the bodice of the back. So that's basically all. I'm just kind of drawing style lines for the boning, at the back, just to indicate that we're going to be having stylers at the back. So I'll go ahead now and use all these patterns to cut on the fabric. So I have my fabric here already folded into two like this. So I'm going to be cutting this front part first. So note that this is folded into two, and that center part of the front is going to be on that folded edge. So I'm using my pins to secure this down, and I will cut it directly like this. So when I'm cutting this part up here, I'm going to be adding half an inch to the bust bridge area, and also to all around the cup, and also this side. So that's just to make sure we are not short of fabric at the end of the day. Also for the back pattern, I'm also cutting it just exactly the way it is. Then at the top here, I'm going to be adding half an inch, so that when we are joining the yoke together at the end of the day, we'll not be short of fabric. So this is the front and the back bodies. And then for the yoke part, I'm going to be using this chantilly lace. Some people call it chantilly net. So I place the front yoke on it like this. Make sure it's folded, and the front part of the yoke is on that folded edge, so that when you open it up, it will be in one piece. I hope you understand that. Then I go ahead to cut it out, adding some allowances at the down part and also at the shoulder area. So I'm going to be cutting the back yoke also. I pinned it down on the lace or on the net, whichever you want to call it. Then when I'm cutting this curvy area here, I added half an inch. So this down part, also go ahead and add half an inch. I made a mistake of not adding it when I was cutting it out, but you should when you are doing yours. And also to the shoulder area. So that's all for the drafting and cutting aspect of this tutorial. In the next tutorial, we're going to be joining all these pieces together. So make sure you stay tuned for the next tutorial. Bye.